At 38, I found a sense of pride each time I gazed into the mirror, reflecting on my journey. Time had treated me kindly. Through a blend of consistent exercise, dedicated skincare, and a commitment to a wholesome lifestyle, I've managed to maintain a youthful and appealing appearance. Oren often shared his admiration for my beauty, yet with his frequent absences due to work, there were moments when I would lose sight of those words. On that particular morning, Oren set out for work at the break of dawn. The house was serene, and I cherished these tranquil times when I could turn my attention inward. In a moment of reflection, I chose to step into the soothing embrace of warm water. The soothing embrace of the warm water and a touch of self-care always worked wonders for me. As I entered the bathroom, I adorned my face with a mask and then stepped into the warm embrace of the shower. As the water embraced my body, I sought to quiet the thoughts swirling in my mind. As I stepped out of the shower, I changed into a red outfit that made me feel confident and elegant. Red has always held a special place in my heart. It filled me with a sense of strength and allure. As I wrapped the towel around my hair, I caught a glimpse of myself in the bathroom mirror and gently removed the mask from my face. As I gazed into the mirror, a narrative began to unfold in my mind. Oren would have longed to witness me in this light. Be sure to subscribe to my channel for more engaging tales from real life. Stay tuned for the entire video, as the narrative unfolding is bound to captivate you. In that instant, Dorian's return had slipped my mind entirely. Oren's son had returned after facing his challenges, yet I found myself still adjusting to having him around. In the quiet of the house, it was often just Oren and me, and I had completely lost track of his presence. The abrupt creak of the door swinging open jolted me from my reverie. "Dorian!" I nearly let out a shout. Dorian lingered at the door, his gaze averted as he navigated the unfolding scene around him. "Oh, Lenora, I truly apologize." The door creaked open, revealing what lay beyond. I was about to step into the shower. His voice trembled, filled with a sense of vulnerability. As our gazes met, the significance of that instant enveloped me. As my hand moved toward the towel, I realized the moment had slipped away from me. Dorian's face glowed with a deep crimson hue, while an unusual spark coursed through my entire being. "Dorian, is it possible you've never been introduced to the concept of knocking?" I spoke, attempting to maintain a calm tone, though my voice trembled. With a hurried apology, he shut the door behind him. Yet, what has transpired is now part of the narrative. In those fleeting moments, the fabric of my existence unraveled, transforming the familiar into chaos. Surely this must have been a mistake, don't you think? But what was causing my heart to race so quickly? The way Dorian looked at me ignited an unusual thrill within me. There was a mix of shame and a strange thrill coursing through me. I attempted to gather my thoughts and shut the door, yet my mind was stuck on that instant when I stepped out of the shower and caught Dorian's gaze upon me. I had never encountered a moment where I felt so open, so laid bare. How peculiar. In that moment, a mix of shame and thrill washed over me. There was a time when I was completely unaware of the unfolding events. As I approached the mirror, a wave of bewilderment washed over me. I gazed at my reflection, the red lingerie embracing my form, radiating with allure. With the passage of time, my body retained a youthful and alluring charm. At 38, I found myself reflecting on the journey that had shaped me, each year weaving its own tale into the fabric of my life. It was more than just my physical form. My eyes sparkled with life, my hair flowed with a renewed energy, and everything radiated a sense of freshness. My muscles had a strong presence from my workouts, and my skin radiated softness, smoothness, and perfection. Witnessing that filled me with resilience. Yet, as I gazed at my reflection, a curious thought crossed my mind about the keen gaze that lingered in Dorian's eyes. I pondered the true perception he held of me. What thoughts were swirling in his mind? How thoroughly did he scrutinize me? A part of me struggled to silence these thoughts, yet I found myself unable to do so. As I gazed at my reflection, a sense of pride washed over me, admiring the allure of my figure and the way I radiated charm in my red underwear. In a flash, I recalled that Dorian sometimes emerged from the shower wrapped in nothing but a towel. A sudden flicker danced in my eyes. Dorian had always possessed a striking charm. He had a striking presence that captured attention. Yet, as I began to view him through that lens, a wave of different feelings started to wash over me. I began to reflect on him and my own feelings, discovering a connection within myself. What once lingered as a mere fascination in my mind was now echoing through my very being in an unexpected way. Before I realized it, I found myself holding my breath, captivated as I tracked his every move with my gaze. Yet in that moment, I felt the whisper of remorse echoing within me. "Oren, gather round and let me share a tale with you." Absolutely, he played a significant role in my life as well, at 47 years old and thriving in the business world. His dedication to work consumed all his time, leaving little room for us to connect. At times, I find myself reflecting on my journey with Oren. Did we truly experience joy, or have I simply grown accustomed to solitude? I finally became familiar with him. Oren appeared to have drifted away from our connection lately. After a long business trip, I came to the realization that it felt as if he never truly cared about me at all. I made an effort to mend it, yet the familiar comfort had vanished. Oren was so absorbed in his tasks that he hardly had a moment to spare for me. It was an ordinary evening, like many before it. Oren returned from work and shared a meal with us, just like any other day. And then he uttered that one line, "We're heading to a party tomorrow," he said. In that instant, it seemed like the perfect escape from the whirlwind of thoughts that had occupied my mind for the past few days. Absolutely, a gathering, a wonderful chance to connect with Oren. A few weeks back, when the news of the party reached me, I envisioned a night spent solely with Oren, sharing moments together, capturing his focus, and stirring up a bit of thrill. But then Dorian entered the scene. "Tomorrow evening," he mentioned, "I have a flight to catch. I'm off to share some moments with a friend. You both venture to the party on your own. When you return, I'll be soaring through the skies." Dorian had always been this way. Reflecting on his youthful spirit and sense of freedom, it became clear why he could embrace such moments with ease. Oren, immersed in his tasks, paid little mind to such matters, his attention solely on the work at hand. I found myself at the party, yet Oren's gaze carried a weight from the weeks gone by. Even so, I felt the urge to express my feelings, so I put on something nice. As I slipped into a striking red dress that hugged my figure perfectly, I carefully applied my makeup and styled my hair with great attention, all in hopes of capturing Oren's admiration. However, the aftermath of the party unfolded in unexpected ways. Despite my best efforts to shine, that evening with Oren remained just out of reach. He planned to head out with his friends, using a business meeting as his cover, leaving me behind at home. Once more I found myself in solitude, isolated, a piece of me shattered. That night, a heavy sadness enveloped me, though I couldn't quite pinpoint its source. The moments I had planned to share with him vanished like grains of sand. Upon arriving home, I found myself in a state of inebriation and solitude. I felt shattered. As I ascended the stairs and shed my garments, I couldn't help but notice that after all the anticipation and dreams of an evening with Oren, I found myself clad only in my black lace underwear. My irritation deepened. The red dress, the makeup, it all felt like a tale that led to nowhere. There was a void within me. In that moment, a surge of anger welled up inside me, yet I realized I had to find a way to navigate through this night that left me feeling so shattered. In a flash, I made my way to the kitchen. Perhaps a sip of something refreshing, or a puff of smoke to ponder the moments. I found myself in need of some mental clarity. I simply needed a brief pause to gather my thoughts and find my center. As I approached the fridge, I reached for a bottle, filling my glass with a spirited pour. With a flick of my lighter, I ignited a cigarette, the smoke curling into the air, setting the scene for the evening ahead. The smoke left my throat feeling oddly fatigued. Tonight was a moment where time seemed to freeze, and everything was laid bare before me. In that instant, an unforeseen event unfolded. A sound echoed in the silence, and my gaze darted toward the kitchen door. Dorian. Dorian had returned to the place where his journey began. When he returned, I was completely bewildered by his presence, and in that moment, I was utterly taken aback. My mind had been wrapped around the idea of a serene evening spent with Oren, but the sight of Dorian standing before me brought about an unexpected twist in my thoughts. Once upon a time, Dorian was all set to embark on a journey, but fate had other ideas when his friend's plans took an unexpected turn. His journey took an unexpected turn when his flight was cancelled. It's a thought that never crossed my mind, and now there we stood, eye to eye in the heart of the kitchen. There I stood, enveloped in a haze of uncertainty. It was a complete surprise to find Dorian standing in front of me like this. There I was, draped in black lace lingerie, a sight I wouldn't typically present, yet that was the moment he stumbled upon me. I inhaled deeply, attempting to steer my gaze away from him, experiencing a sense of shame. "I'm sorry, Dorian," I murmured, my voice quivering slightly. "I had no idea you were around. Honestly, I never expected it would feel so strange to find you here." I bowed my head, avoiding any gaze that might meet mine. I struggled to articulate the whirlwind of feelings swirling within me, yet Dorian, with an air of nonchalance, moved in closer, as if he were part of a tale unfolding before our eyes. In his eyes, a change flickered, hinting at untold tales waiting to unfold. He took a brief moment to gather his thoughts, then gently inquired, "What's causing those tears, Lenora? What's got you feeling so down?" His voice carried a unique quality this time. This time it resonated with a deeper authenticity, carrying a greater emotional weight. His gaze felt as if it were piercing through to the very essence of my being. As he approached, a grin spread across his features, but it was more than just a mere expression. It was reflected in his gaze as well. In that moment, my thoughts swirled around me, sensing that he was far from just. Engaging introduction. It was impacting me not just in my body, but also in my heart and mind. My emotions were a tangled web, yet there was an entirely distinct essence within me. Dorian's gaze held a sincerity that drew me in, and rather than feeling intimidated by its impact, I found myself moving closer to him. His words wove a tapestry of confusion within me, each thread pulling tighter. As I gradually opened my eyes, I gazed upward and caught sight of the genuine look etched upon his face. His gaze held a depth that made me feel as though he was not only near me in body, but also in spirit. For a fleeting instant, I sensed the depth of my despair, the disappointment of not experiencing the evening I had envisioned. Emotions surged, and soon, tears began to stream down my face. As Dorian approached, he gently whispered, "Lenora, are you aware of the beauty that radiates from you?" His words wrapped around me like a comforting blanket, yet they also struck me with a jolt of surprise. "Prepare the scene. Oren's work has kept him from being as present as he should be," he continued, "but you're truly remarkable and radiant, and you deserve to embrace this evening." His words wrapped around me like a warm blanket, yet the storm of my emotions remained restless. The whirlwind of emotions inside me was so intricate and powerful that just being near him made it impossible for things to return to their usual state. Dorian's eyes held a depth that drew me in, making it easy to lose myself within their gaze. In that instant, time felt suspended, and gradually I moved closer to him, one careful step at a time. Dorian remained motionless, his eyes wide with astonishment as I approached him. The shift in his gaze told a tale of its own, stirring a whirlwind of feelings within me that I struggled to comprehend. In a flash, everything unfolded, the turmoil within me intertwined with an irresistible urge to press my lips against his. In that fleeting instant, my heart yearned to bridge the distance between us and surrender completely. In a fleeting instant, I found myself kissing Dorian. It unfolded in an instant, catching me completely off guard. With my eyes shut the moment our lips touched, it felt as if the world around us had paused. The warmth enveloped me, my heart raced, and the tension radiating from him swept away all thoughts in a heartbeat. In that moment, I sensed Dorian's anticipation, longing for me to return his kiss. The moment was filled with a surprising warmth neither of us expected. Gradually, as his hand found its way to my waist, the space that once separated us vanished entirely. All the intricate feelings within me suddenly transformed into an overwhelming yearning. As I listened to his breath, I instinctively drew nearer to him. We moved together, caught in the moment, unsure of what would happen next in a passionate embrace. With every step, our bodies brushed against the walls, and in that moment's intensity, we held each other closer. As Dorian gently reached out, our closeness grew more intense. We brushed against the walls and made our way to the living room door. In that moment, we found ourselves sitting close together on the living room couch, sitting close together, hearts racing. Dorian had carelessly abandoned his pants in the kitchen beside the couch, while my black nightwear lay on the floor, a quiet echo of the moment, telling a tale of the evening's events. In that peculiar moment, I found myself adrift, utterly consumed by the experience. As I opened my eyes and gazed at him, I took deep breaths, realizing just how rapidly everything had spiraled out of control. With a surge of emotion, I caught a glimpse of my own reflection and offered a subtle smile. His eyes revealed the depth of his feelings for me. He inhaled deeply, met my gaze, and asked, "Lenora, what transpired? What led us to this decision?" With a mix of surprise and relief, I turned my attention to where he was looking. Words eluded me, yet I felt an undeniable urge to express myself. In that fleeting instant, it unfolded, I remarked, my gaze drifting toward him. Yet, I'm uncertain. I simply needed to express the emotions that were bubbling within me. I believed there was no other way to experience this night. Dorian nodded and gently ran his fingers through my hair. "Is it truly inappropriate for us to draw this near?" he inquired. His hands rested on my waist, and as his fingers roamed over my body, each moment felt more profound than the last. As he gazed into my eyes, my breath caught in my throat. He inhaled deeply, drawing closer to me with a deliberate slowness. He started to share his thoughts as if inviting others into his world. "Once upon a time, I found myself facing the sting of betrayal, Lenora." He shared that he had been navigating a challenging period, but at this moment, he feels entirely transformed. His voice carried a genuine warmth that caught me off guard, yet it brought a sense of comfort as well. He moved a bit nearer, and I found myself captivated by the profoundness of his gaze. "Our connection feels incredibly deep. These emotions catch me off guard, yet I sense your presence, Lenora. Your presence is palpable, as if you're right beside me." In a fleeting moment, a whirlwind of feelings surged within me, and my heart raced with intensity. Dorian's words revealed the peculiar and intricate nature of it all, yet there was an undeniable essence in that moment. The air was thick with anticipation as I sensed his presence drawing near, each step he took resonating with an unspoken connection. Listening to the thoughts swirling in my mind transformed my perspective completely. Gently, as I met his gaze once more, I whispered, "I was alone, Dorian. Once upon a time I found myself in solitude, but now the narrative has taken a remarkable turn. For the first time, I find myself in a whirlwind of emotions, vibrant with youth, brimming with excitement, yet feeling a bit adrift. A sense of transformation washes over me," I whispered, my voice quivering with emotion. In that moment, finding the right words to convey my emotions felt like an impossible task, yet the sensations Dorian stirred within me were undeniably vivid. At that moment, the door swung wide. A voice emerged, "Lenora." Oren stepped through the door, his eyes widening in disbelief as he took in the sight of us together. In that instant, time stood still. It felt as if the world had paused. Dorian and I locked gazes, a moment suspended in time, uncertainty hanging in the air between us. Oren was caught in a whirlwind of emotions, his face a canvas of shock and anger as he sought to unravel the mystery of what was unfolding between us. His eyes widened, and he paused for a moment, breath caught in his throat. And that's when chaos erupted. "What on earth is happening here?" he exclaimed, his voice filled with grit and fury. In a heartbeat, chaos unfolded all around. Oren's voice thundered through the air, brimming with fury, as if it could rattle the very foundations of the house. His eyes reflected a storm of emotions, filled with frustration and a sense of letdown. "What on earth is happening here?" he inquired. Yet shortly after, it became less about the question and more about the fury and resentment that was evident on his face. With trembling hands, he directed his gaze toward Dorian, gesturing emphatically, "Leave this place immediately." "This house no longer has a place for you," he declared. "She is my partner in life. She has been a central figure in your life. It was unwise to involve her in this situation. What on earth were you thinking, huh? How could you both overlook me in such a way? Words escaped me. It left me utterly speechless. My eyes brimmed with emotion, yet I held back the tears in that instant. Oren was pointing fingers at me, casting a shadow over everything as if I were to blame for it all. What was I meant to express? Was I capable of addressing his fury? "Why, Lenora, do you ask? What on earth prompted you to take this action?" Oren pressed on, undeterred by the challenges ahead. "What actions of mine could have caused you to feel this way? How can anyone find peace after losing both their husband and their son in such a way?" Your gaze met mine, and in that moment deception danced between us. All I experienced was a deep sense of fracture within, yet not a single word escaped my lips. My eyes brimmed with tears, yet despite the heaviness in my heart, words eluded me. Everything remained the same. I was aware of that. Then Oren exclaimed, "Oh, come on! Let's get started! Leave now. The time has come for you both to find your own path beyond these walls." He was urging us to step outside. Dorian and I shared a moment, our gazes intertwining. Silence enveloped us for a moment, yet an unspoken understanding lingered in the air, reflecting the turmoil we both carried within. After a moment, Dorian spoke with a sense of calm, suggesting it was time to move on. I agreed. It was time to leave this place behind. As we ventured into the world beyond, the tears flowed endlessly. The weight of my guilt was so immense that even tears couldn't ease the burden within me. My mind was swirling with thoughts. In that moment, I found myself at a crossroads, uncertain of the path ahead or the destination that awaited me. In the blink of an eye, everything unfolded. I had jumped in without a second thought, and now I found myself tangled in this chaotic situation that was unraveling before me. Being with Dorian, reflecting on the pain I had caused him, consumed me from the inside out. What led me to this moment? I murmured softly, my hands shielding my face, tears still streaming down. What words did I share with Oren? In what ways did I let him down? With each step taken, the weight of regret intensified. I found myself in a haze of uncertainty, believing that these emotions would eventually fade away as the days went by. Dorian stepped back, yet his departure sparked a fleeting flicker of hope within me, if just for an instant. Feel free to take the plunge. As I stood there, watching him walk away, I knew that everything was about to change for me. I moved ahead, embracing the unfolding moments of the future. In solitude, even amidst the shadows that surrounded me, I found a glimmer of hope once more. In that fleeting moment, I inhaled deeply and discovered a well of resilience inside me. I will navigate this journey. In some way, I would rediscover who I am. A new chapter would begin. If you've journeyed this far, it's clear that you're captivated by the narrative. There are countless tales waiting to be unveiled, and you won't want to overlook a single one. Be sure to tap that follow button, enable notifications, and share your thoughts on the tale. I'm eager to hear your insights, so let's engage in the comments.